Tomorrow is Indigenous Peoples Day. Native American communities all around the country will celebrate their centuries-long history of resilience with ceremonies, dances, and speeches. Here to talk about the significance of the holiday are Judy Wyman and Bevin Rainwater. They are co-chairs of the University of Hartford's Amplifying Indigenous Voices Affinity Group. Thank you so much both for being here this morning. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Of course. So the significance of this holiday tomorrow, walk us through that, because for a lot of people out there, this is kind of new on their radars.
Well, Indigenous Peoples Day has been celebrated for about 30 years. It started originally out in Berkeley and has been spreading across the country. And it's a way to honor Native American and Indigenous peoples' contributions and their culture. President Biden first acknowledged Indigenous Peoples Day back in 2021 and again in 2022, but it still has not as yet been recognized as a federal holiday.
And that history, that culture, what does that look like specifically in Connecticut? Tell us about those communities that exist here in our state.
Well, we have the Tungus and the Wampanoag, we have the Sikog, the
those are tribes that historically have lived on this land. Some of them were pushed away into New York and now Wisconsin. So now, currently in Connecticut, we have 5 recognized state tribes and 2 federally recognized tribes.
And for people who want to learn more about these tribes, how can they do that in the greater Hartford region?
Well, there are a couple places. Hartford itself doesn't have any organizations, but the Institute for American Indian Studies is in Washington, Connecticut. In South Windsor now, there's actually a kind of a live village, Nawashi Village, and they're having a great event tomorrow from 11 to 4 in South Windsor. They do a lot of activities around Native American current day lifestyle as well as traditions historically. And then, of course, there's the museums down the Mashantucket Pequot Museum and
the one at Yale too.
At Yale, yeah, Yale's got a center too.
Yeah, very cool. And you guys are also doing this kind of work on the University of Hartford campus, Amplifying Voices. Tell us about this group and the work you both are doing on this front.
We're actually doing it both at University of Hartford and for the town of West Hartford.
Wow.
We're on their
busy
task
people
force as well. We've been helping them to, we crafted a land acknowledgement statement last year for the University of Hartford, in the process of creating one for West Hartford as well. But we also have a lot of events that we've been doing in the past year and coming up this year as well. We've had a book read with Clan Mother Sharan from the
Golden Hill
Pagusset
down in Trumbull and also Colchester.
Yep.
They're one of the state recognized tribes.
Right.
Awesome.
We have the Thunderbird Dancers coming out on the 23rd. They were also in West Hartford yesterday. And we have some other things coming up as well. We had a native plants workshop earlier this week, and we have a day that we're doing lunch and learn to incorporate Indigenous practices into mainstream classes at the university.
And what does it mean to see this holiday start to be recognized more and more on these state levels?
Can you speak to that?
I think it's important, to recognize Indigenous peoples and Native Americans and their contribution to society at large, and to revise historical inaccuracies and acknowledge the injustices faced by these communities. It's really great that there's a grassroots movement, and even our state has recognized the importance of educating our students on Indigenous peoples and have created a resolution, and they've been revising the curriculum to put those in the K-12 schools across the state.
And really quickly, I'm getting a rap in my ear. What are some of those events? I know you mentioned a few of them that you want to highlight people can come out to celebrate.
So tomorrow in South Windsor and the Nawashi Village, there's going to be a Hartford Fall Harvest Festival this coming Saturday on Vine Street in Hartford. And then we have the Native American dancers coming to University of Hartford on Monday, October 23rd from 5 to 6. That's free, open to the public.
Judy and Bevin, thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course.